All right, I'm gonna come out and say it because somebody has to. This All Star game format, I kind of like it. I was like, I wasn't necessarily skeptical. I wasn't also going in this with like, it's gonna suck, or let's give it a shot. I was just basically, I'm indifferent most of the time anyway. And watching it and looking at it, I was like, okay, there's things that can be improved on, but I think I like it. That probably gonna go against the norm. I was like, I feel like a lot of people are just also at this point just hating the All Star game. Uh, I was like, kind of doesn't. It's not gonna. We're at the point where all this stuff isn't gonna get remedied. So it's like, what is the best sort of meat we can get in the middle? Um, I was like, I've seen, I was like, I'll say like Draymond hated it, and and I was like, now I just kind of sort of feel like he's trolling, where he just like he hates it so much that it just like there was nothing he could say about it, and I was like, okay, to me that's where like people who are just like negative just to be negative for it. I was like not saying that you need to be positive just to be positive either. Like you like tell your honest feelings. If you don't agree, they agree, don't disagree, whatever. That's fine. Um, but he was over here just like, oh, now the records or whatever is gonna be messed up of like scoring 55 or trying to score like career highs and all this stuff, the other stuff having their name in the history book. And I'm like, bruh, it's an All Star game. They're still gonna. I was like, as we sort of seen, Steph became the Kobe Bryant MVP All Star trophy winner, so his name is still gonna be in the I was like in the history books. The points won't be there, but nobody's over here caring about the points of in an All Star game compared to like the points in a real game. It's not that much of a. It's not gonna be that much of a bothersome. And also, if that's not if that's not over here, you about to be like, oh, come on, step on. I was like, step on the porch and get on your rocker, type of stuff. Where it's like, if we change this, then we're gonna have to. Then the points and all the other stuff is not going to be right. And it's like, really, guy who has a dude that changed the whole game with the way he played the 3 point line is talking about points in the history books. Like, bruh, like your dude is basically one of the guys that we sort of looked at as like, oh man, the history book's going to look kind of different. I was like, he's the guy that pretty much almost started the 4 point line, which what changed the history. Anyway, so I was like, with that being said, I was like, I like it. So I was like, I didn't see the Friday celebrity game. Shout out to Bailey though. I didn't see the Rising Star match up that got them to here. What I think is fine. I was like, they're really young as hell. They could go and be over here and be over there. That's fine. I was like, I like the sort of thing. Kind of like it gave everybody sort of what they wanted to, in my opinion. I was like, you had the international star. How many times have people been talking about, oh, let's have the USA versus the international star? We got that. I was like, we got like some youngsters here that think about this. How cool would it have been to see basically Wade, Carmelo, Bosch, I was like, who was a couple of them other dudes there? Kirk Heinrich, the go gritty ass. Like all of them on the team versus like Shaq's crew. I mean, where it would have literally been Shaq and all of them. Yes, they would have got the ass beat, but that would have been totally dope to see LeBron and all of them sort of play in that sort of type of fantasy world. Where it's like, I don't know if we have the rookies like we used to. Like, yes, things have gotten I was like things have improved to where it's like, oh, this is the most skills of like we seen a player and stuff like that. But we're getting a lot of that as role player people, not really stars anymore. But I'm just saying like things like that, or just seeing like, oh man, Zion and Ja on the same squad going against, I was like that. I think that would have been cool. We just don't really know none of these rookies. Like I just don't think that. I'll put it like this, especially because the All Star game is for the fans. I don't think enough of them know who some of these rookies really are anymore. Connect, he's on the Lakers. Um, I was like, maybe Davis because he plays for the Suns. Uh, but I was like, it's not. I was like, Castle now that he's with Wimby, so it's like it's not really because of them themselves. It's really because of connection and approximation of what they are. I was like, what they have. Um, you'll hear about like the defense and stuff like that, and I think the defense was actually a lot better than it would have really been. I think like first of all, I think if they would have did a regular format, I do think the players would have tried a bit harder this year. Like where it's like we got down to that fourth quarter or whatever. I was like I was like, so I was like that. I think that would have changed, but I was like, they was playing defense. Like Kyrie was actually like some people. James Harden, I was like, even though he gave up that layup to Davis, like I was like, he did like stop his immediate. I was like he was sort of there. Like they were playing defense, they were blocking shots or whatever. That's kind of win. Also kind of win his big ass. Um, yeah, and I was like, I think not only did you get like for instance the international star, the young star, you got the OG, which Shaq purposely did of being like, yo, we got the old crew. This is the last time we're gonna have them all team up. And then we got like the basically like I feel like the new all star group of people, Brunson and I was like Cat and I was like because I was like and I mean what I mean by new is I was like because I was like either this is their first or second one or they're with a new team or something like that. Uh, so I think the defense was actually kind of there. I was like, we still got the excitement and stupid play and funniness of them trying to shoot the shots. I was like, when I was like the OGs was like over here trying to kill it within that last against the Rising Stars. I was like, they were just playing around after a while. I was like, God, because it's like Dame said, you can't lose to them. So I was like, you seen the fun in that. Um, I was like you didn't get so you didn't get and this is why also I think there was a little bit more defense play. You didn't get none of them dunks that was like really crazy like that. Like outside like Kyrie doing his dunk because I was like he doesn't dunk. I don't think you really got anything that was really crazy. There wasn't like a bunch of alley oops or nothing like that. You got a lot of 3-point shot being taken, but that's just what the NBA is now. Um, I was like, no. I was like, I think you sort of probably got almost as close as you could with the best of games. I was like, there's no clock. I like that better, and we just going to 40 as well. I was like, now maybe depend on. I was like, and that may be one of the things that could change is maybe you want. I was like more point, but after a while you sort of seeing that I was like, oh, okay. I wish it sort of might end or as well, but I do think that I'm like, okay, I don't mind if they increase the points, say like to 50 or whatever. I was like, because these are talented dudes that are basically like this ain't a real game to where it's on that level, but it still is. I was like, so it's a little mix between the real game and practice. So I was like, they're gonna get to that shot. I was like, I the only gripe which I was like they brought it up and I was like Candace brought it up and they said like Reddit or Kenny or whatever one of them didn't understand. But it was like, oh man, the international team coming out sluggish and they can't shoot. And it's like, well, they had a longer time to sit away. And it's like no, both teams had the same amount of time at halftime show. It's like, no, Candace was right. They had a game and a halftime show, and that's the only problem. Is it's like I'm not making an excuse that why the international team couldn't get buckets going or whatever. I think a lot of their dudes are streaky shooters in comparison to the OG squad. And I was like, they did not use their advantage of my bad, and all like Carl Anthony Towns wasn't on the team with Brunson, but they did not use their height to an advantage. You have Carl, Wemby, Jokic, Sagoon, and none of them was in the paint like that. I was like, Jokic did a couple times once they realized they needed buckets, and Wemby tried to get them going, and I was like, I sort of feel like you could tell like Wemby really sort of actually wanted to get this, but yeah, so I was like, so that's the only thing. I don't know how they would fix that, where you basically got halftime and that to go. But no, I think that you got sort of the spectacle of it. You got the shots, cause I like Steph Curry was hitting from logos and stuff like that. I was like, I think you got. I was like, you did get a couple dunks in there, but I was like, you did get some defense. You did get some like I ain't just letting you get to the paint. You had to make these hard shots. Almost like you sort of. I was like, now you want to talk about defense as a whole? Were you talking about that? I was like, that's different. You're talking about. But I was like, this. I didn't see any defense that wasn't. It wasn't playoff, of course. But I was like, it was no different than I can see in a game, to be honest. Where just like, oh, you can't get the bucket, take a hard ass shot. I think they completed their goal there. Yeah. So I was like, I like the All-Star game. I like the halftime show. I was like, with E40 too short. Ooh. Should that with the E40, but you get what I'm saying. No, I think it was cool. I was like how they sort of just put them all together, made it a whole little thing, and it was like underneath like 15 minutes or whatever, 20, 30. I was like, okay. I was like, cool. I like this halftime show. We got in, we got out. I was like, we sort of got to hear their top hits, because it's not like it's a Super Bowl where it's like. So I was like, cool, they was there. And let's go to the other spectacle of the other day, which is the dunk contest. And Matt McClung is that guy. I doubt he'll be back really next year unless there's like a reason. I was like, or hell, you might only have to keep. I was like, you bring him back until like people get tired of him. To be honest, because I think Castle did. I think Castle did a really good job of his dunks as well too. Cause I was like, he had a windmill 360, and I was like, cool, that gets the people warmed up or whatever. And I was like, you can sort of tell where it's like some things look so easy for him. Where he did I was like the one that rivaled Matt McClung, where he did the behind the back with the left hand, and he had to cup it, and I was like, man, that was right there to miss. But I was like, that's such a hard to do, especially like if you can't grip the ball, but especially if it's with your non-dominant hand. I was like, no, that was a good dunk. But McClung, I was like the fact that everybody's over here trying to get warm up dunks, and this dude decided to come out with a car. Okay, I was like, and I will say, if he would have tripped and fell really on his face, like he fell, but I was like, he would have really fell on his face or got hurt off that car, that would have been everybody like, see, this is why the main stars can't come out and dunk. This is why they ain't going to do it, because of things like this. He could do it because he's a league player or whatever. And it's just like, okay, whatever. Also, like Blake Griffin ain't do this thing either. But I was like, but from he did that, I was like, the fact that he did the spinning hoverboard double ball dunk. I was like, and then him ending it all with the front rim or whatever, which is crazy because I was like, I was watching and I was like, man, why nobody does the little tap stuff anymore? And I was like, of course he did it. But I was like, because he can also just show that he can just stay up in the air as well with his hang time. Cause I was like his other dunk where he just came basically from the side, and I was like where he did his 360, and I was like where he just held off, and then last minute was able to spin. I was like, no, that dude got hops or whatever. Crazy, he can't. I was like, it's crazy that nobody has really put him on a squad. And I was like, I know some of y'all are like, "Cause you mean he can't really play or whatever." Which I mean, I was like, we've seen him in the game sort of school when he was with the Lakers and stuff like that. And I was like, that normally and all that normally gets you at least like a number 11 spot. Those dudes ain't never playing or getting in. I was like, that's normally the spot where it's like dapping up. I was like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, that's normally a spot that would be for him. I was like, if you a team, why not get him to where he could be basically? He'll be that I was like Boban or whatever, where it's like there's certain players on certain teams. Kent Bazemore several years ago would go to state until he became an actual rotation player. But there are players in the league that you kind of like, Taco Falls or whatever, where it's like it's garbage time. It's like we about to get McClung. I think the dunk contest, I was like, you at least need two people. Cause I was like, there's always gonna be at least. I was like, there's four people. There's always gonna be probably a dud and whatever. So I was like, you would need at least two people. And I think Castle was good enough to basically be here. Cause I was like, I think he had some pretty good dunks as well. I was like, it wasn't a spectacle to show McClung, but this is his third time here, so he got it even up himself or whatever. Then I was like, seeing there was like a little tweet of like Morant calling Gordon and Levine talking about we like getting in it. First of all, they not. But if there was a way to do something like that, that would be it. I don't think Aaron Gordon really has it in himself anymore to necessarily do that. I think Levine could still pop off something. Morant we ain't seen, so we know he still got some stuff in his legs or whatever. But you still gonna need. But I'm like, that would be something if you just had like those three, maybe Morant or whatever like that, where they're all in one, and then Morant the newcomer or whatever. But I was like, if you're gonna keep getting McClung to basically be like, who can dethrone this dude? I was like, you at least need one other like good guy. And I was like, then the other ones can be like, yeah, man. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, All-Star Weekend, or at least the game, kind of know that's what everybody's mainly gonna talk about. Until then, peace. I'm out.